In his youth, the wanderer dwelled within the high-walled temple of the Veiled Sun, where the priests forbade him friendship beyond their sacred halls. He was given no hound, no steed, no companions but the tomes of the temple's endless library. And so, he wandered only in dreams, his heart bound to the heroes of forgotten legends. One such hero was the warrior Jack, a fearless wayfarer who battled beasts and broke curses. The wanderer read of him beneath candlelight, dreamed of him beneath cold sheets, and wished that one day a companion of such mettle might venture beside him. Then, on the eve of worship, as the priests led their evening prayer, the wanderer spied movement beyond the stained glass windows. A spirit of shadow and moonlight prowled the golden fields. A hound, with a coat like a storm-touched sea, bathed in crimson, fading from the loss of battle. As the faithful bowed their heads in devotion, the beast placed its great paws upon the window's ledge and met the boy's gaze. It did not blink. It did not break its stare. Time stopped between them, and born within the moment, an unspoken vow. When the prayer ended, the wanderer rushed to meet the creature. The hound was lean, its ribs a prison of hunger, its breath heavy with exhaustion. The priests muttered of ill omens and spoke of summoning the falconers of the Pale Crown to remove it. But before they could act, the wanderer turned to his father and begged to keep the beast. His father, bound by duty, refused, but his mother, a woman of quiet rebellion, had already taken up the hound and placed him in their carriage. "Find its master," father decreed. Yet no master came forth. No caller bore a name. And so the boy, who had never before been allowed to name anything his own, spoke but one word: Jack. From that moment forth, empowered by his newfound companion, the hound and the wanderer ventured forth. Together they crossed into the wilds, forsaking the temple and its cloistered ways. Together they braved storms of howling wraiths and deserts where the sun burned beneath the fury of a dying god. Together they climbed the spine of the world, where the spirit of the wind sought to cast them into the abyss. Time and again, death would present himself, cloaked in darkness, wielding the scythe of eternity. Together, they warded him off with heroic resistance. The hound barked him awake when shadow-born chariots veered too close upon the night roads. The hound led him from the jaws of a black lake when the stars had turned unfamiliar and the shore had vanished. And when the forest grew thick with spirits and paths twisted in upon themselves, it was Jack who led him to sanctuary. The years passed, and the hound of the wanderer saw more than the kings of old, felt more than the bards could weave into song. His paws had pressed upon stone and sand. His breath had fogged in frozen peaks and humid glades. He had rested beneath silk and slept within the catacombs. He had feasted and he had starved. He had run, he had fought, and he had loved, the love of 1,000 hearts. But no beast outruns time, nor does any soul remain untouched by the blight of fading days. In the end, death was the only adversary they could not defeat. The hound who had once been swift as an arrow now moved like autumn leaves, slow and deliberate. His ears, once keen as the wolf, caught only the echoes of a world growing dim. The wanderer, who had once feared nothing, now feared only this, that he could not save his greatest companion. Jack turned his weary gaze upon him, and in those glistening eyes, the wanderer saw not fear, nor regret, nor sorrow. Only a life lived. Only the acceptance born of a journey well taken. So he did not weep. He did not wail at the heavens for their cruelty. Instead, he laid his hand upon Jack's weathered frame and spoke to him not as a master to his beast, nor as a guardian to his charge, but as one companion to another. "Come, my friend," he whispered. "We will face death together."